What's going on, everybody? How's it going, Discord community? Welcome back to episode 31 of Behind the Bench. I'm your host, Neil, Irish Flyers Collector, here on Discord and on Instagram. So, not a whole lot going on in the life of IFC. I think the only thing that's new and exciting on my end is this past week, my son's, he's a senior in high school. His hockey team had their senior night. So, that was a fun night in the game. For our season, honoring our seniors and being a coach. It was kind of a special night. So the funny thing is our high school team has 12 seniors. So we had more players on the ice getting honored than there were on the bench of the underclassmen. So quite a long pregame ceremony. Yeah, it was good. We won the game. My son managed to get a goal as well, which was cool. It was an easy one. He said if I missed that, Dad, I was going to quit hockey. But he felt great because we had a lot of friends and family come out and support him that night, which happened to also be his 18th birthday. So, which I kind of thought would be a bummer to him initially. But based off the night, it really capped off the night. He had a pretty cool night. So, that's all me, but I hope everyone has had a chance to maybe watch last week's episode where I had the opportunity to sit down with Tori, Minnesota sports card junkie. He was kind of the victim. As I said, it was in the hot seat for my interview episode format show. So I'm doing another one this week. I'm welcoming in another fellow Discorder, a fellow collector, a member of our community here that you may have seen his name. So this week I have another hobby friend that I've gained because of the hobby and being here on Discord and because of the Gong Show in general. So he's been in the Gong Show Fantasy League for the last 3 seasons. He was our inaugural champion, so the first ever Gong Show Fantasy Champion. So I'm sure that's an accolade that he no doubt lists on all his social media profiles and resumes. And he was also present at the very first RIP party, and so that year at the expo, and then he and I did a little dollar box digging at the expo that year just for a little bit. So I'd like to welcome in. Let me bring him in here. Welcome in, Rob.
Hey, Neil. I know you just talked about me being the champion. I just want to
there you go. You had that on.
Go ahead, man. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Such a pleasure to be here. You tell him that I got you. Yes, I am indeed the first champion. No,
you are the first champion. So welcome in, Rob, and Beard Bows, right?
That's
Beard
right.
Bows.
Thanks. Thanks for having me, Neil.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Thanks for taking time out of your life and day to schedule to join me. So, the purpose of this, again, as I mentioned before, is to talk to other Discorders and kind of get that dive where we kind of dive into the passion that kind of, what we all do. It's kind of a cool thing to hear what other people do and what they like and what makes you tick. And like I said to Tori, we're talking hockey cards, those little pieces of cardboard of sweaty men that kind of, hold a special place in our hearts and have big stories. So thanks for coming in and joining me today. So a little background about yourself. Let's kind of start with generally, some people do know who you are based off of meeting you before or picked up who you are from Discord with cards you've shared, but give a little summary of you're a an Ottawa Senators fan. Is that red?
Do I look bald with just a mustache? No, I'm not. I'm not a Senators. No, I am a Panthers fan. I've been a Panthers fan since the inaugural season. I have the inaugural game pennant against the Penguins behind me.
Yes.
He used to live down in South Florida. My uncle he used to have season tickets for a long time. So I went to a ton of Panthers games as a kid. And, when they went to the finals in '96, that was kind of like what cemented me as a Panthers fan. And that just stuck with me. And then, they were garbage for 20 years and I stuck with him through all that. And then, back-to-back champions. So yeah, huge Panthers fan, big hockey fan in general, obviously. I love doing fantasy hockey. That's a huge drain on my time. I do 4 leagues. I'm doing 4 leagues this year. So
gosh.
Yeah. And I guess my biggest single PC guy would be Marian Hossa.
Okay.
And I got into Hossa as a fan from video game that people might remember, NHL Face Off 2001.
Yes.
In college, we used to play that, late into the night. And Hossa was like, when he was on the Senators, and he was like a cheat code. He was like Randy Moss in Madden. And we would just like, every time somebody would score with Hossa, like they would jump off the couch and just start screaming, Hossa! And like this thing in our friend group. And so then I started really paying attention to him when he played, and he was like, man, he's actually an awesome player in real life. And so I started collecting some of his cards. And a buddy of mine that I grew up with went to Georgia Tech. And when Hossa got traded to the Thrashers, every now and then I would go up and visit my friend Eric in Atlanta, and you could get Thrashers tickets for $6 or whatever. So we would go to see games at the, I don't know, whatever it was called, the Omni or whatever. Oh
yeah, I forget.
Yeah, no, do not let the dog. Sorry, my wife has let one of our dogs in. Please leave.
You're good.
So yeah, I used to go to Thrashers games whenever I could and see him play live. And so that was like when I got back into collecting and getting cards and stuff. I have multiple boxes of Hossa cards. So that's like the genesis of my collection. But
did you collect as a kid too, and then like had that break that transition into adulthood, and then got back into it again as you
same as everybody else. Like, when I was a kid, I collected a lot. I collected like every sport when I was a kid. And so this is a good little story. When I was probably, I don't know, it was Shaq's rookie year, 93, 97, and I was a kid, and our LCS, when I lived down south, they were having a raffle for like 5 boxes of basketball cards. And I go put my name in, they're doing the drawing, and my grandmother takes me to like the mall outside of the shop, and they're doing the drawing, and there's just like a bunch of adult dudes there, and collectors, whatever, and me 10, 11 years old, whatever, with my little raffle ticket, and they called the number, and I was like, oh, I won, and just saw this like sea of angry faces of adult men when I was a kid going up to collect my so I have a bunch of old basketball cards because of those 5 boxes of wax, and a bunch of Shaq rookies, which as a teenager, like, oh, these are going to be worth some money, and they're like, these are not worth anything, but at least I have the story of how I won all these boxes out from under, a bunch of 40-year-olds when I was like 12. That was
it's like the expo when a kid wins. Went up for next doing something, and maybe a raffle off box of the cup, and there's everybody.
So I have all the old, 90 pro set and 90 score, football and hockey, and I even have some baseball in there. I just have a ton of it, like just gathering dust. But same as everybody else. It's like you go to high school, you go to college, you kind of stop paying attention to cards, and then later on, it was even before the pandemic. Some friends of mine and I, we get together every year for a fantasy football draft, and a buddy of mine in 2016, 2017 just started buying like $8 boxes of 1990 Pro Set or 1990 Upper Deck, just to like open packs when we're doing the draft weekend, just for fun. So we just kind of got back into it from there. And then of course, when COVID hit, then we really started getting into it more, and we're like, buying low number inserts and stuff like that. So COVID really was like the big uptick. And just one day I got so many envelopes, the post office left the little like carrier at the front door, just like, okay, please put this back out the next day, we'll pick it up. My wife was like, I think you have a problem.
Like, no problem, no problem at all.
Fine. I don't see any problem there.
I just have to put this bin back at the mailbox. That's not a problem at all. So you still have a lot of those old cards, obviously the junk wax gold that most of us from our era have those. So a lot of the pro sets from all of those eras, football, baseball, football, hockey, I remember having those as well. Do you remember the pro set hockey, the referee cards? The refs even got cards.
So we're like, we have this little room that I'm in right now, which is like in the state of transition, where it's going to be a little hobby room, and to kind of start getting ready for putting the cabinet in here and stuff like that. It's like, let me clear out all this old stuff. It's like, I'm going to separate all these duplicates, and I went through all these old rows of like 90 Pro Set, like coach cards, and the ref cards and all this stuff. So I have like a huge, like a Chewy box just full of duplicate cards that are either going to go into the fire pit, or I want to do the thing where I don't know who was talking about it on Discord, but like, yeah, I want to take the entire wall and just wallpaper it with hockey cards, just put like a clear coat on it. Just all these 1990 Pro Set and Upper Deck cards, just, stuck to the wall for eternity.
Nice. That'd be fun. Yeah, it's like Philadelphia Flyergram. He has a table that he made with the acrylic top where he put a bunch of the Flyers cards in them. You could do that. So that's cool.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I want to do something like that. Yeah.
So what was it? So are you now solely, just a hockey card collector? And is that your primary sport?
Yeah, hockey is definitely my primary sport. I mean, I still watch football, but I don't have a team that I follow. And so I haven't bought anything other than hockey in probably 6 years. So
what was it about hockey cards that kind of hooked you into the sport or kept you in it? Was it something to do with just it's your favorite sport? Was it anything to do with the cards? You love the artwork, the way that they look, something else? Like, what is it what's your hockey hook?
Yeah, I mean, hockey being my favorite sport, and then kind of, I don't know, getting back into it, and I guess the kind of the Panthers are starting to be good again, and it's like, okay, this all kind of clicks. And my town doesn't have an ice rink, but I played roller hockey all through high school and college and stuff, and so I was a goalie. So I think that explains a lot. But I collected a lot of goalies, right? So kind of connection to the position in the sport, I think, helped too. And I think just the passion for the sport, and I think there's a lot of creativity, like you said, not necessarily just the artwork, but from when I was a kid with junk wax to now, it's like, wow, you have cards that have pieces of jersey, that have pieces of stick, that have pieces of the stadium bleachers or the seats. It's like, couldn't even imagine that in 1991 as a kid. And now when I tell people that, it's like a point of conversation, like it's a good icebreaker. It's like, yeah, it's not just a piece of cardboard, there's a jersey on it. So case in point, for Christmas, my wife got me one of the new Parkhurst boxes. And I was opening it that day, and I got this Bedard jersey card. And so we were with my in-laws, and to kind of explain it a little bit, it's like, hey, this is a card with a part of a jersey worn by this player in a game, and people are kind of like wowed by that. So it's cool to like share with other people to maybe get them into a little bit, or like show some interest for this not just being a piece of cardboard.
At least getting to understand why we're addicted to it in our midlife, right? You got to help justify it. It's kind of like that. It's not just cardboard. Yeah, because back in the 80s, 80s for me, 90s and stuff like that too, is the only chases were the drink out of your cup. Is it cold down there? You got a winter hat in Florida and hot cocoa. Is it?
It's supposed to drop into the 20s here tonight. I hate to tell you that. It's not just all warm and sunny all the time down here. It is a little chilly from time to time. I think. Let's see. What does the weather app say?
Oh my goodness! So what is it going to be down there?
Right now, 43, feels like 35.
Oh gosh!
And overnight tonight, it's going to go into the 20s. So we have a low of 29.
Wow, you guys are not equipped for that stuff.
Oh, I told you, all the plants have come inside.
That's good. Yeah. So getting back to your I forget where I was going, but it's interesting with regard to your mug threw me all this champion stuff. It's cool. Like when you were a kid, following the Panthers, like I think that run in '96 with Beezer, was Ole Jokinen on that team? Was he part of that?
Not yet. That was pre Jokinen. Yeah, Jokinen.
Mellenby, Scott Mellenby was on there. But that run probably helped, expand the sport, in Florida. That had to have helped. I mean, I remember granted it was a sweep, right? By the
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Thank you for reminding me.
Right. But still, I mean, they were a monster. I mean, geez Louise. But that had to have helped, expand the sport for yourself and just the region and made it more popular. Granted, you had a 20-year grind in between there, but still, I'd take that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I didn't even start getting into hockey or playing hockey until the Panthers came along. Like I told you, I was born in Philly and lived there for years as a kid. And even as a kid, I watched the Eagles and watched the Phillies. Never got into hockey until the Panthers kind of made that run, and my uncle had tickets, and we used to go to a bunch of games, and that really, yeah, that locked me in.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I mean, unfortunately for a long time, but now, fortunately now, yes, for life. So, and I've gotten a lot of people, a lot of friends of mine into it. Like I have my own Discord channel, which is an offshoot of our fantasy football league with some of
Okay.
the guys in the football league. That is now where this is where we just talk about hockey. And a buddy of mine who never really watched hockey or anything after the Cup last year, he bought a Barkov jersey. So we went to his house for the fantasy football draft this year, and he busted out the Barkov jersey for a fantasy football draft. So it's pretty cool to like get some other friends into it. But yeah,
That's
the
awesome.
'96 run was huge for like at least creating the fan base, and
Mhm.
the last couple of years have been good for kind of, I think, like refreshing or like restarting it. You know.
Yeah, get that next crop of kids to get hooked on it, and that's really cool. I mean, yeah, it's kind of hard, just if you win another one though, I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna just completely turn on you like I did with the Patriots. Like I was rooting for the Patriots to beat the Rams, and I
Mm.
was like, damn it, I should have never done that. Because then they became that monster dynasty. So I'm
I,
just telling you, I'll turn
it,
quick and
it's not going to happen this year. I can tell you. We've just had too many, like Barkov being out all year, Kachuk being out. We've
yeah,
had so many guys out from injury. Like it's just too, and it's too difficult to three-peat just in general. So
yeah.
I'll
It's
take the two. I'll take
yeah,
the
yeah,
two. Fine.
yeah. That's a good settle. It's a good settle. So so let me try and think here. So other than like so you had to stop in your collecting. I mean, do you see this as being something you're going to continue, um, you know, long term? Like I said, I mean, I think now that we're kind of settled into adulthood and we
Mhm.
have adult money, it's like you still kind of continue on, but we're just a little bit easier to set boundaries for ourselves and then continue. Do you see it being something you would continue?
Yeah, I do. I'll be honest with you. I've never sold a card in my entire life, so that's something. That's one of my 26 hobby goals is to start selling some cards
Okay.
and have a little bit of that more adult money that you're talking about.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, I think I would like to continue. I think one of the things, one of the other kind of goals that I want to look at is a lot of people talking about too is kind of whittling down a little bit, kind of narrowing the focus a little bit.
Mhm.
I don't have like a huge, wide ranging collection or anything, but I think locking in on specific sets and specific years or whatever to kind of give it a little bit more long-term chase, right? So that if you
Mhm.
have something that you're looking for and maybe you don't find it this year, but hey, it's on the radar for next year or whatever, it kind of keeps you interested for longer.
Mm.
And every year, sets keep coming out. I like to kind of slowly build sets over time. Like I'm a huge proponent of just base cards, base sets. Like I love to build base sets. So yeah, we can
Base
talk base
cards
all
matter,
day.
baby. Base
That's
cards
right.
matter.
That's right. I'm like a lot of other people. I love Parker's Champions. So I love
Mhm,
building the base there. O-Pee-Chee paper, and it's
mhm.
kind of a slog because it's enormous, but
Was it
that
over 600 cards,
600
right?
cards. Yeah. And just like stuff like flagship or
Mhm.
credentials. I'm not collecting big time like big money sets, but I think it's fun when you can open some of these boxes. Oh, maybe they're a year or 2 years old. Like I don't really care. I like having I can kind of go through the box and say, oh man, let me pull out this 21 22 O-Pee-Chee paper and I have the whole set in here. Like, so I kind of like that. Just the kind of year after year. There's new inserts. New players change teams. Like that's cool. I think that would keep me going for as long as I have two nickels to rub together. So
So boxes and ripping, that's your jam, and then you also go and get some of your personal players, your PC players like Hosa,
yeah.
or I'm sure I know been a few Panthers that you pick up here and there for sure. So, but rip and wax is kind of your jam, and kind of just completing the sets that you enjoy.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
fun, if you get so especially with like Parkhurst and OPG paper, you buy like 2 or 3 boxes of those and you're gonna come pretty close to getting a set.
Yeah.
So then you can kind of pick out singles that you need. If you need 20 or 30 cards, you can go through Discord, go through eBay,
Mhm.
my card post, whatever, and find people that might just have them laying around, or
Mhm.
you don't have to kind of break the bank buying 100 boxes of wax necessarily to build a set. And
Yeah,
I like the
he's good for the base cars, you know?
yeah, yeah, kind of I like that kind of chase rather than just saying like, well, I'm gonna, buy the cards individually. It's like
Mhm.
let me see if I can do this in, 4 boxes or something maybe. But yeah,
Yeah.
I do, I gotta buy singles too. I gotta get my it's hard to find, 1999 Pacific numbered inserts of Marion Hossa in a 2025 cup tin. So I gotta buy the
Yeah.
singles on eBay too. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. So, do you f so you do the rip and the wax, and you is it Hossa? Is there anybody else that you focus on, certain players like him
Yep.
or
Barkov, I think Barkov
Barkov?
and
Yeah, that's right, I
Roberto
remember.
Luongo are
Okay.
probably two of the biggest individual Panther PCs that I have.
Yeah.
And I have some like weird ones, some like Radko Gudas, like when he was with the Panthers, I loved him.
Mhm.
So I have a bunch of old like Gudas was in his rookie year was the 2013 Prism set. So I have
Yeah.
a pretty good run, not the whole rainbow, but a pretty good run of the Gudas Prism rookie. Just
I had
weird.
I had him here in Philly for a little bit. He was a freaking goon.
Yeah. Yeah. I love him. With beard. He has a big beard. So if I let my
Yep,
beard go for like a month, people
yep,
think I look like him. So
yep, and I got to boo him the other day in Anaheim. Yeah, he's wearing the C in Anaheim,
yeah.
you know? It's like you like, "Really?" But,
Yeah.
if he motivates the team.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a lot of the old like Hasek cards too. Like I told you, he was a goalie, so I like the kind of PC goalie stuff. And Hasek was, like I'm in Florida, like we didn't have a goalie coach on our team. We just had a coach, so I kind of had to teach myself a lot about the position and kind of the mechanics. And
Mhm.
Hasek was like the guy at the time when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, people would tell me you look like Hasek out there. I'm like, well, thank you, but I'm just I'm just kind of like wildly throwing my body in front of the puck.
Yeah, just go.
Just whatever. It's like, yeah, that looks like what Hasek would do exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm just trying to survive and stand up, but okay, yeah, sure, if you say I look like Oshik.
yeah, yeah. I'll take it.
So, going to, through your collection, what would you feel is, like, your most valuable card and what makes it special? And it could be invaluable, doesn't have to mean dollar sign. You know what I mean? It can be like, what's your like, okay, this is if the house is going down, like I'm grabbing the family and this, you
Yeah.
know.
Um, it
Do you have something you can put a point on?
might be one of these like 97 Donruss preferred cut to the chase. Kind of hard. The lighting in here is not great, but
No, no, you got a good angle right there.
so the Hossa rookie, it's a die cut called Cut to the Chase
Yep.
parallel, and I'm not entirely sure if we know the print run on it, but I think it was fairly low.
Mm.
But it's not quite Phil's Shane Pinto collection, but I have two of them,
You have
and
two.
I love that because I feel like the print run is fairly low, so I might grab those. But yeah, maybe that one. I have a Barkov card that I got last year that I really like, which is a Cup Foundations
Oh yeah.
auto out of 15. Let's see if we
Hmm.
can. So I
That's
love this.
cool.
I got it for a pretty good deal on eBay. I was pretty proud of it when I got it, and yeah, it's probably my favorite Barkov card that I've got. So maybe this one. And
Yeah.
it's hard. It's hard to choose, right? It's like how can I choose out of my 15,000 children, which I like, who's the favorite?
And what makes the Donruss one special? Just because the era, that's what you remember collecting when you were younger?
Yeah, probably that, and like I think there's a little bit of mystery behind the numbers on that, right? Like,
Yeah, it's like that acetate, the
yeah, like there
acetate,
could be
like, ooh,
20, there
what is
could
it?
be
Could be 20.
25, there could be
Yeah, yeah,
50. We
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know. But yeah, it's yeah, it's like unique, even though I mean, at the time, like that would be cutting edge. Right now,
Mm.
we're doing all kinds of stuff, but yeah, that at the time would have been pretty cutting edge. It's like, oh, a die cut card. It's not a rectangle.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
that and it's like kind of a I don't know if it's the rarest, but probably one of the rarest of my
Mhm,
main PC guy. That
mhm.
makes it near and dear to my heart.
That's awesome. Hey, we all have our like. Trust me, there's some cards that I have that somebody would laugh at the fact that I cherish them, and some of them have really basic value, uh, or autographed in person, and it looks like a scribble because it was autographed in a crowd, and you know, they did the best they could, but somebody like, that's trash. Get rid of, you know,
Yeah.
but you know, we hold those moments and those things that are special to us. So
Yeah.
what about what's Rob's like grail? What are you going at? Is there something that you have identified as like a but it's attainable, not like something, you
Yeah.
know, you like that a $40,000 McDavid, but I'm talking something that's attainable, that's a grail that you would like to go after.
Yeah. So
Or put on your vision board, your 2026.
my eBay gift card board.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, the 2013 Prism set, kind of harkening back to that, the Hossa Rainbow in that set. I have everything but the gold, which is out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, like I think there's the finite black 1 of 1, which, probably will never see the light of day.
Yeah.
Over the last couple of years, I've seen 1 or 2 of the gold come up on eBay, and it's like I don't want to go overboard on spending, but now I'm like, if I see it again, I'm just going to pull the trigger, like spare no expense. Like I got to do it. So that's probably my number one to try and complete that rainbow without the finite black. But I have all the other cards in that rainbow, so I kind of want to finish that off since it's main PC guy.
That's sweet. Yeah, from 2013, you said, right?
Yeah, 2013 Prism Gold. And when I was at the expo in 2024, I was with John, High Gloss CBJ, and Bobby. We don't know where he is anymore, but
I know. Poor Bobby.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, hopefully not RIP. Hopefully, but anyway, he was very gung-ho about trying to help me find this card. Like, we were just going table to table, and he's like, you got any Hossa? You got any Hossas? You got any Hossas?
And it's Bobby.
Yeah. with a cigarette, and but like all the dealers were like, oh, Hossa, not really. So there were some 2013 golds floating around in the expo, but nothing. Okay. There were very few dealers that had any Hossa. So struck out there. That's like one of the things I was like, oh, this is on my list to try and get at the expo. I'm sure they'll have it there, but
it could be, it could be that's a massive place. You've been to it. It's huge. Some dealer might have had it, or some person might have been standing in the way. And that's why it's like the repeat of going every now and again is really cool, because, fresh stock, and, might just be floating around there, and, So it's such a cool experience, and maybe we'll talk about that closer to the end. But the fact that you coming up from Florida going up to the expo is a big lift, and so cool. I'm not looking. It's so cool to make that trip and experience let's screw it. Let's get into it now. What's your advice or tip for somebody who is kind of like thinking about going, or is in your same scenario, requires an airfare to get there?
Yeah, I say plan ahead, first of all, because I had to renew my passport. Passport photo, that somehow was not easy. So plan ahead, make a list. I still have a list in my phone of everything that I did to prepare for it. Buy your airfare in advance, make sure you got the passport, you have a place to stay, all that stuff. But make a list of like what you're looking for. Even if it's a handful of cards, like, there's some people in the hobby, we call them whales. They might have 5, mega cards that they're looking for. I don't even think I'm a minnow in the hobby. I think I'm more of like an amoeba, or what do the whales eat? Krill,
yeah.
Krill.
Krill.
So, my list is, a page long single space of like all these $2 cards and $5. I want to complete this rainbow. I need this, green parallel out of 49 or whatever. So make a list of what you're looking for. And then, like everybody says, wear deodorant. Do not be that person that doesn't wear deodorant. I had to buy one of the mini deodorants in the Tampa airport for, $6.99 before I got on the plane, but at least I did it. So deodorant, comfortable shoes, dress in layers. Like, everybody could tell I was the idiot from Florida, where it's like, you don't even have a jacket. I'm putting my flannel shirt on or taking my flannel shirt off, taking this hat off, putting this hat on, freezing. So dress in layers, and comfortable shoes, have a backpack to kind of tote your stuff around in. But if you are agoraphobic. That's the you don't like crowds. Like this might
Yeah,
not
you
be a
don't want
place
to
for
go
you.
that.
It's
Go Thursday and Friday. Don't go Saturday.
yeah, yeah. It's a little it's a little intimidating to be in a space like you said. It's huge. There's a ton of people there.
Hmm.
Just the sheer volume of cards can kind of be a little overwhelming when it really could be like looking for a needle in a stack of needles. Like you're just
Yes.
you got to really hunker down, and if you're digging in these boxes like we were, you really you have to either commit to doing it or you have to kind of go fast and move
Hmm.
on. So it can be a little intimidating if you're not a fan of crowds or being on your feet for long periods of time. So you got to kind of mentally prepare for that too.
What was your first experience walking and hitting that show floor as far as seeing? Have you been to shows in Florida, card shows in Florida? Do they have
No,
them? No?
we do like
Okay.
there's some in the surrounding areas, but I mean, I feel like
Was Expo your
hearing
first show?
what
Was Expo like your first card show?
first in a long time. Like
Okay.
I went to some like when I was a kid, which
Okay.
were
All right. So
like
as an adult. All right.
but like that's nothing compares to the expo.
Uh,
But hearing Tori and hearing some of the other guys talk about even the shows in Minnesota. Oh, there's like one guy with hockey here. I'm like, do I think if I make the drive to like Jacksonville or Orlando or Tampa to go to a show that there's going to be even one table with hockey? Absolutely not. So it's like,
yeah.
yeah, no, I'm not going to go out of my way to go to a show here. It's going to be not even slim pickings. It's going to be just the worst. So
Not worth your time, especially since you've been in Expo. And that's why I've joked with my friends and others like in the hobby. I'm like, the Expo literally spoiled me for
yeah,
everything else. Like
yeah,
I'll go to the national maybe every now and again to meet friends, we get together with the guys and go to the Gong Show crew together. But going for cards, yeah,
yeah.
no. So
It's more of an event, like all
yeah,
the
right. It's
athletes
fun,
and
and
stuff that are there. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's great. Okay, so getting back to you and as a collector, so if you're collecting sets and some players and PC stuff, what's your primary resource for like storing and protecting your cards? Like, what are you using? If you got your PC guys, are they, that silly gang, or are you like are they in like the white boxes, or are you using
Um,
binders? What's your go to, Rob?
yeah, my go-to is the white box.
There you go.
Tried and true, old school, old fart, whatever you want to call me, white box all the way. Top loaders and one touches and stuff like that, penny
Mhm.
sleeves, whatever. Binders. That's for the 1990 Pro Set football and Upper Deck hockey. Those are still in binders on the bottom shelf. This right here is the cabinet, my IKEA trusty,
Yeah.
Flugenborg or whatever cabinet. This is
Fliegenflogen.
this is where all this 6 shelves or 8 shelves per. That's all white boxes, and then at the very bottom of the binder. So if it collapses under the weight of all these Hosa cards, then the first thing that gets smushed will be the 1990 junk wax binders. Yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
You ever have a scare with like one of your cards? Like I asked Tori that, like we all have that moment where you're just like, I was just curious if you ever had a scare, card popping out of a one touch or a card get ruined, even worse. But you ever have a scare with that stuff? Talking about shelves
I,
breaking.
no, I don't. I don't think I've ever
Okay,
had a
well,
scare like that.
knock on wood for you.
Yeah, yeah. No, I honestly I don't think so. I mean, I know I've seen one happen to a friend of mine where a card just fell out on the floor and dinged the corner, and it was I forget what card it was, but it was like a patch auto out of 10 or something very pretty limited, and
Oh.
yeah, we're just like but not to me personally. I can't think of a time where I've done anything like that.
All
I'm
right, good.
pretty meticulous. I like to wash my hands before I touch the cards, and now I go to the door. Normally it's shut, and the dogs can't come in here and eat the cards or anything like that. So
Yeah, that's all. Oh my god, yeah. So yeah, you don't sell much. You're going to try to look to sell some stuff, but hey, if your pal, your old roomie, High Gloss,
I know.
John, he's doing a great job in selling inserts and whatnot. So I think this is like the second one in a row episode I've talked about him, but just look to him for some tips. He does a good
Yeah,
job if you're looking to sell inserts.
I know. I watched that episode and I was like, man, I either got to start doing this or I just need to send my cards to John. And
Yeah, there you go.
John, if you're watching this, you can take 10%, buddy. but you
ten
can take your
percent,
cut.
10% of a dollar card, 10 cents on every card.
Yeah, you can have all my 1990 Pro Set referee cards.
There you go.
They're
I actually
antiques, right?
bought I actually bought one online on purpose because I remember him. Kerry Frazier was
Gary Frazier.
probably, I love him. His hair was his helmet. He didn't need a helmet because his hair was his helmet. But I love Kerry Frazier.
Oh yeah,
As now I do. Back then, but back then, but now I love him. So he's a good interview. If you ever see him on a podcast or an episode of something, check it out. He's got great stories. I always tell people that. There's one where he's on, it's either Chicklets or there's a Flyers one called Nasty Knuckles, but they had Kerry Frazier. He had stories for days. Great person to listen to. So
okay.
Cool. So keeping up with the trends in the market. So do you kind of like just follow the beat of your own drum, or are you aware of trends going on in the hobby, like with all the Bedard mania and Celebrinia? I think I just made a word there, but yeah, are you just aware of them, or do you follow any of them? You're like, all right, you get a little caught up and maybe buy some cards here, or you just still do what you do. I got my role and I follow it.
Yeah, man, I am kind of, with respect to the hobby, more march to the beat of my own drum kind of guy. It's real easy. I could see how it's easy to get caught up in the hype and especially with like breaks and stuff. Like I don't do breaks. This is not for me. It's not the way that I want to go about it. Sure. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff where with social media and like the hype and stuff, you could really get swept up in it if you're not careful. But yeah, I think you just, like you said, you kind of got to stick to your own guns, like listen to, what's important to you. And you always have a really good message of, collect what you love, and kind of the rest will follow, right? Like you don't worry about all the outside noise, or don't worry about the hype. And, you kind of have to stick to your own lane, right? Like I'm not $1,000, I'm not $100 card guy, right? I'm like very, very much bargain bin Bobby, as I like to call myself.
That's right. Yeah, that was the nickname. I was trying to remember. I'm like, was it dollar bin Bobby or bargain bin Bobby? There you go.
That's right. I'm in the $5 and $10 bins, rubbing elbows with Neil and Louie, and so yeah, you have to kind of not get swept up in all that. And that's not like I don't use social media, but it's really easy if you kind of get sucked into that stuff where like you buy into that hype. And I'm buying like 3-year-old wax for like $50. I'm not out buying tins of the cup, right? I'm going to buy what's in my wheelhouse, and I'm happy with that. And I'm not going to really focus too much on like, the next hype player or anything like that. I have my team that I PC, I have my individual guys that I like to PC, like to build my base sets, and you can just kind of focus on that, and all the other stuff is just background noise. Like I don't have any FOMO about, not collecting Bedard. Like I said, I'm not selling cards. This thing is just full of cards that I will not get. like if I die, they'll have to bury me in this, and they're gonna have to jam me in there with all the cards like popping out, because they're just not gonna get rid of them. So
you're a hockey card acquirer. It's like I talk about the people like, oh, people buy and sell cards. I'm like, I suck at the selling aspect of it, but it's like I acquire them, and kind of. Yeah, I people ask all the time the same thing, like, oh, would you move anything? And I was like, no, because I bought them for a reason, or I acquired them for a reason, or maybe someday I find out if the kids don't want it or whatever. But right now it's like most of us collectors, and sure, it's a drum that we probably all beat loud and proud as hockey card collectors, is we're probably the more genuine collector driven part of the segment of the hobby. And we have a lot of true passion behind it versus following the latest flavor of the month. So I'm proud of that as for myself as a collector, but I don't just besmirch anybody who follows the latest trends. But I'm aware of them, like you. It's really easy, especially listening to the show with the guys. They talk about all the latest trends, and Yeah, it's easy to get caught up, but if you're doing sets of flagship and O-Pee-Chee and whatnot, like you're still getting some base cards. I'm sure you get excited about the even the base card of Celebrini or second year if it's not a rookie year, the second year cards. I still I still put them either in top loaders or I got a little section of Bedard stuff, right? And you know, um, keep and enjoy. So yeah, it's a cool way to keep collecting and be a part of the trend in a way, right?
Yeah. So like what Tori said in the last episode too is like looking at the backs of cards,
Hmm.
and I love that. I love seeing the stats,
Hmm.
and I love kind of like where's this guy from? It's like, oh, it's really interesting. When you find out a guy is from a completely different country that you might not have thought of. So I think having the backs of cards is cool, and you don't really get that when you're looking at non-base cards. Like
Hmm.
base cards, they'll have all the stats going back a couple of years, but when you get an auto, patch auto card, it's like, oh, this is here's a bunch of
Yeah,
stuff
it's just got the
attesting to.
congratulatory message. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I love the card,
Hmm.
but it's like that doesn't tell me how many goals this guy scored. Does this guy have like 6 20 goals years in a row? Like I like stuff like that, so I love the
Hmm.
info that you get from the back of the cards. And I'm still a big puck doku guy, so
Hmm.
the backs of the cards tell you like maybe where this guy played, and so kind of squirrel that knowledge away later for next week's puck doku maybe. So I love all the info that you can get from some of the base cards. That's part of why I like having the sets, is just letting all that knowledge sink in.
Yeah, it goes old school. I think there was a couple episodes back. Josh was talking about like players. You give a middle name and what players got that middle name, and that's on backs of cards and the town they played in or the city they were born in. Which, it's one of the things for me. I always kind of make a joke that when Couturier was younger and more at the playing on the international level, I was like, he's an American, damn it, because he was born in Arizona.
Yeah,
But true Canadian. He originally he out from New Brunswick area, but still, like I know all that stuff from the backs of cards. It's not from reading a book on them. It's from reading the
yeah,
backs of cards. So
yeah.
cool. So what's your opinion of the hobby these days? Where things are at? Are we in it more for? Is it more for passion or more for profit? Are we walking a line? What do you think?
I think what you said earlier is pretty true. Like the hockey card community is more of they're not, I would say, not investors but invested, right? Like
Mm,
more about collecting, more about PCing, and definitely we've seen some of these kind of big recent sales numbers for some of the shields and stuff like that, where
shit, yeah.
uh the guy from Shark Tank too, like other kind of outside forces are getting involved in some of these like high end, very kind of astronomical cards. But I don't remember who it was on the show saying like, yeah, but that's just a small segment of people that, the majority of the hockey card community is just kind of like your dollar box guy, or, just kind of meat and potatoes, collectors, people that, curate their collection based on their
Mhm.
favorite team or their favorite players. And I think, I don't know, I'm not super plugged in. I'm kind of in my own Bermuda Triangle down here, right? Like they like to say, so we're not making a lot of big purchases for hockey down here in Florida. But from what I see, kind of just from social media, listening to the show, listening to kind of other podcasts and stuff, it does seem like there's a few more outside eyes on the hobby now. Like people see it, as they talked about, as like a less expensive entry point into just the hobby in general, and
Mhm.
picking up big shields that they might flip in a couple months and then disappear forever, kind of thing. So I think by and large, though, we are kind of like the little redheaded stepchild of the hobby overall, and so we kind of have our little corner, and for the most part, we're just left alone to keep all of our cards.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I like that fact about us, and that I get a little afraid when talking about hobby growth and expansion and whatnot, and but it's what's good for the hobby is good for all of us, I guess, except for when it drives the market to unaffordability. Like I got back into it, like people have said many times before about when PMGs were just massive prices. And I understand the original PMGs being high priced, but then it was like any PMG was high priced, and it's like, well, yeah, why? Those are from 2012 or whatever it was. We get that. So, but these ones that just came out 2 years ago or a year ago, what makes them so unique in the hobby and special? So, but people are becoming more informed. So I think that was like that riding the back end of the wave of COVID and everybody getting back into it and just spending all this extra money. But yeah. So I'm actually we're going to take a quick break, Rob. We're going to hit the pause, but people won't notice.
Okay.
But like I said to you in my text, we're recording this on Thursday night. So it's before the show airs, but we're recording on a Thursday. And what happens on Thursday nights? Slab Sharks. So I'm going to pause for just a minute because IFC's got a biggie he's going after that's going to end in a minute or two.
Okay, so go get it.
Everybody's going to be there, but we're gonna pause for a minute, and nobody will notice anything different except for you. So I'll hang on for 1 minute. All right, we're back. You didn't notice a thing, but I won. It's well worth it. Well worth the pause in the evening. So I won. So yay! I'll share the card in a future episode. So. But anyway, let's get back to Rob because you're the guest. You're the topic of the discussion. So let's ask about some of you. Sorry. No, first time Gong Show inaugural champ. I mean, does deserve some accolades, right? So
I know I didn't get. I did get. Oh, that's one of the things that actually got me hooked on Parkhurst was the prize that year. They sent me a box of Parkhurst Champions.
Oh, was it really?
So that was like the first time I cracked that box was my prize for winning the league, and that really sucked me into it. Then I'm just buying $60 boxes at my LCS here. It's like I love it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
see that it continues on.
Yeah.
Speaking of Parkhurst and other stuff like that, like what's your favorite? If you had to go to like favorite card design or favorite set, do you have one from any particular year that you're like, oh yeah, that's one of my favorites or hits home?
I think I'm going to say something controversial.
Okay. Oh, goody. All right. Or is this going to get us some clicks and
this will get us some clicks from probably Josh and Louie and Phil. 2019 Allure. I love Allure. I will not stand for the besmirchment of 2019 Allure. I don't know why everybody hates it so much. I love it. No, I mean, I kind of do. Like, I kind of do because that was one of the other sets. Like in COVID, when I started getting back into it, that was one of my like early adopter sets where I was like, wow, I really kind of like these cards. Wow, cards are so different now. So I bought a bunch of 2019 Allure. Like, I have a bunch of like the Barkov Rainbow and stuff like that from that year. But I like O-Pee-Chee Platinum. I like 19 and 20 O-Pee-Chee Platinum. Those are probably two of my favorite designs, and probably why I got sucked into like a bunch of different player rainbows in those 2 years too. Because I really like the design. Like we always say, like shiny things. We love shiny things. Those are the shiniest things, right? So yeah, I love those two sets. And 2022, 23 Parkhurst Champions is, I don't want to say undefeated, but pretty close. Like they're up there in the top 4, I think, for me of like set design. And I just kind of like the evolution of Allure too, just throughout the years. Like, I know everybody hates 2019 Allure, but the evolution of it to where it is right now, I think is pretty great. And like, they've made some tweaks and some big swings and stuff. And I think another shiny set, right? Allure, like we all love the shinies. So yeah, the Allures and the O-Pee-Chee Platinums and stuff is kind of the designs that I kind of glom onto the most, I think.
Well, Platinum, like, I mean, it was again an episode like maybe 4 or 5 episodes back. The guys were reminiscing about how Platinum was like garbage when it first came out.
Phil was saying he's kicking boxes over in 2014 or whatever.
Like it's people were poo-pooing it, and honestly, even I'm not a huge fan of it. Like, it's the shiny, and part of it to me is like I don't feel the pictures, and I might have said this before, like they're not as crisp, right? But I respect the shininess and I love the concept of the rainbows and those types of things. And that's why I kind of like the lure because I'm like, oh, they have the shiny and they're clearer, they're more crisp. So I'm kind of with you. I do like a lure. I mean, some of the color patterns are a little bit weird. Looking at you, pink leopard.
Yeah, that was a strange one.
But it keeps it a little fun. I think it's a little bit more the lure's a little bit more the tongue in cheek in a way, platinum version. But they do some cool things with their rainbows with the orange die cut, those types of things. So they keep it a little. I think there's purple, so they do a good job. And but I like them. But that's cool. I like it. Now, if you could design a set, if we could do the Upper Deck Balls edition, what you have any idea?
Oh, okay. Okay,
not balls, not balls,
yeah.
balls.
Yeah, I got you.
If you have any idea?
Stature's a really cool set.
They are, aren't they?
Kind of the design and the kind of shiny, glossy feel to it. Hard to beat the cup in terms of, I think, just I guess you have the autos, you have the mem in the cup, but you also have the extreme thickness. So like a good thick card is kind of a cool design. Like I like that. I like the thickness. So yeah, I don't know if I could do some kind of weird combination of a thick but shiny card that also had memorabilia in it. I don't know.
That'd be pretty crazy. Like
I haven't put a lot of thought into it.
An O-Pee-Chee platinum with the tongue of a skate, so the thickness is massive, or a piece of glass with the O-Pee-Chee platinum design.
In O-Pee-Chee platinum, they have those weird kind of prefab like trophy cards where it's like a picture of the trophy on a piece of fabric in the background. So the card is like this thick, but it's not truly like the real thick card. It just has that kind of like image of the trophy in the background. So something kind of weird like that. I like weird stuff too. So those are and those are cheap. Like you can get those for $5 or whatever. And it's like, oh, here's a picture of the Ted Lindsay Award. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I love weird stuff like that. So yeah, it might be a little weird, like a shiny, thick memorabilia card. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
With their that's not the ones. I know they have like the trophy winners, and it's the manufactured patch, and they have the manufactured cup. I think that's not the one that's kind of raised. There's one that's kind of like a little bit of a shadow box that has the cup. It's raised. I don't know if you know what that one is.
Yeah, I don't think that's O-Pee-Chee.
No, it's not. It's not O-Pee-Chee. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right. So money is no object, Rob. All right. You can have any card in existence, regardless of the price. You have that card. Like, I'm never going to own this, but if money was no object, you have a card that you would be like, that's the one I gotta get, or something in that vein.
I mean, it would have to be a card that doesn't exist, right? Like I guess maybe if money was no object, I would say maybe like a Barkov Shield auto or something, or if we could go back in time and have like a Hossa Shield auto, something like that, I think would be the crown jewel of the PC at that point. That's kind of the one disadvantage with PCing kind of older players is don't have necessarily the new most of their cards are in the past. They're done. There's legends or greats or whatever we're calling them now.
Don't say legends. We're gonna get sued.
Fantastic players who are retired, whatever. But those guys have kind of some new stuff, mostly auto stuff, or if they're buying sticks or a few game used jerseys from those players. But the window is closed, so to speak, on like really cool new cards for a lot of those players. And outside of Gretzky, there's not a lot of interest maybe in retro players like that. So I don't think Upper Deck is clamoring to get a Hossa patch into like a Hossa shield into like a cup next year. There've been some kind of stuff that's come along, but Gretzky is kind of like the big driver for a lot of people, and Gretzky is a name that people know, so it's going to attract other outside people from from other parts of the hobby. So Yeah, I think I'd have to kind of make a time machine and then go back and have
Find one.
shield autos in 1997 Pinnacle, where I could get like a rookie shield auto of Jose. I think that would be cool. That would be my number one.
You can make it. You can go back, get to find a jersey, buy the jersey, find somebody that does those custom cards.
Yeah,
But
could
no,
do
that
it.
you know what, you raise a great point, Rob. But the fact that it is a little bit rinse, repeat, recycle with legend players, right? Because it's the same guys, and it's not a knock against the hobby. Because let's face it, those guys have the names: the Gretzky's, Lemieux, the Messiers, the Currys, the Borks, the Waz, the Hosicks. Those guys are timeless, right? But then you got next tier down, and I mean, heck, I don't even think they put enough Bure and stuff today, and he was massive. But you get the next step down, and
Yeah.
maybe they need to have some of those. And looking at Ingrained that just came out, right? The Legends version. That one was. There's so many players in there. I'm like, yeah, you're skirting the line on Legends.
Yeah.
Older player, yes.
Former NHL player, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But Hossa had a huge name,
Hall of Fame,
from the era, right?
500 goals.
Yeah, huge name from the era, and I think that you've kind of identified like a little bit of a hobby gap there with the fact that they don't come up with some of these things and keep these guys relevant. So that sucks, but
it's hard. It's like a catch-22, right? Gretzky is the big name, and so Upper Deck kind of has to, and I don't say this in a negative way, but like keep recycling Gretzky throughout the products. It's one of those chicken or the egg things. Is like we all admire like Wayne Gretzky's greatest player of all time, or arguably greatest player of all time, and it's like he needs to be in the sets because maybe the products won't move as much, or he keeps getting put in the sets, and like we keep buying it because he's in the sets that they keep putting in there. It's like, what if we just didn't have Wayne Gretzky in any sets for a year? Like, would the hockey hobby shrivel up and die? Probably not, because it's already smaller than all the other the segments of the hobby, right? So, I mean, I think that to me would be an interesting experiment for Upper Deck. Be like, what if we just didn't make any new Wayne Gretzky cards for 1 year and see if everybody lost their mind? Like, what would happen? And it's kind of like
would it implode?
Bure was, hard to nail down for an auto, or he was just kind of not involved. And, same thing with Fedorov. Like, he just came back the other night. They retired his jersey, and it's like not much of him out there, not much.
No, you're right.
Out there. So it's like, I get it from, maybe Upper Deck wants to get some of these guys in the product, but they're just not available because they don't want to have anything to do with it anymore. And they live in Russia, which is hard. So it is a kind of a catch-22, I think, for Upper Deck. Like, they may want to get guys like that into the products, but then they're left with, and again, not to knock anybody, but like, I don't know, pick a name, Mark Recchi, great player, like recognizable name.
Yeah.
Like, played for a long time, but maybe not necessarily like a high-end chase in the hobby, right? So, so it's like, it's good to get those guys in and kind of keep their names, up at the forefront. Like they do the Hall of Fame player segment every episode. It's like, wow, man, these guys did a lot for hockey, and I feel like Phil, like, I don't know this guy's name. I really should know this guy's name. I feel like a terrible hockey fan. Like, we got to keep those names alive, right? We got to start injecting more than just Wayne Gretzky into these products a little bit.
Yes, and like take for example, like Phil loves Daniel Alfredsson. I can't think of any sets that I've seen Alfredsson in anytime soon. He was a legend player for Ottawa and carried that team, and you talked about Recchi, Tocchet, he's a coach for us now, and he's a great player, great name. So there's so many of them, and I think that would be it's like, you talk about chicken versus the egg. Like, is the set popular because of Gretzky, or is it popular the players? What would they how they should try to push some of these names that have a following. They're in the Hall of Fame. A lot of these guys are they're at least in the Hall of Extremely Good,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
So
That
yeah,
could
it's
be a
cool.
new insert set. Hall of Very Good.
Hall of Very Good. There you go, Billy. If you use it, you gotta get in touch with Rob.
Or like almost made the hall, something.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll figure out some sort of Hall puns, but I'm sure he'll have plenty of puns for those. So,
Yeah.
if you could meet any player featured in like the from your feature collection, would it be somebody like Hosa or somebody other legend, and maybe
So
Luongo or somebody else?
I I wish I had prepared better for this because I
Yeah.
did actually meet Hosa
Okay.
at the 2003 All-Star game in South Florida.
Okay.
So he was he must have been playing in the game if he was there, but there was like a video game tournament at the Fan Fest outside, and it was like the winner of this tournament gets to meet and play a game against Marian Hossa.
All right.
Now,
I'm
it would be a
feeling
cool
where you're
story
coming.
if I said I won,
Okay, I was gonna
but I
say I'm
did.
feeling you call back to your video game days earlier. You're talking with your friends.
That would have been a great circle to like
All
close the
right, I
loop.
feel this is going downhill fast, Rob. I'm kidding.
No, no. But I was there, and he did kind of sign autographs and take pictures and stuff with people. So I did get a picture with him in
Yeah.
which I look like a complete psychopath. I'm sad that I forgot to pull that picture out. But then I also got his autograph. So I did get to meet him that one time at the All-Star game, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I think, Luongo would be a cool guy to meet. Like Luongo seems extremely personable and
Yeah,
outgoing and funny and stuff. And he is like one of the faces of the franchise for the Panthers. So I think it would be really cool if I had to pick somebody maybe is not active anymore. It would probably be Luongo. Yeah.
that's cool. Well,
Yeah.
here's what you do: find the picture. You don't need it for now, but find the picture when this episode airs.
Put
And
it in the chat.
no, you put it in the chat, or you put it on your story for Instagram that day, and that way because people will hit up and follow you. So put it on there. We'll tie it together.
Okay. Yeah, I do. I do look like a real psycho in this picture, so it'll probably be
Was
pretty
it from
cool.
Starstruck, or were you just younger and a little more just psychopathic day?
I think younger and starstruck. Yeah, that's
Okay.
it. Yeah.
I used to get that way. My wife still teases me that I get a little tongue tied when it comes to meeting some celebrity or somebody I admire, and yeah, so she teases me all the time. She's like, you completely get lost," and I'm like, "Yeah, you're not wrong, not wrong whatsoever." So, all right. So as we're heading to the home stretch, I'm going to get ready to wrap up. But before we do that, I want to give you an opportunity to share advice or tip or something you found that you like doing in the hobby or whatever, anything you like to do as far as hobby advice that you would give to someone, whether starting out or, hey, everybody in the hobby, I do this and you should do it too, which is
Yeah.
sell all your Marion Hossa gold cards, right?
Yes. Discount prices, please. Um, I think organization is really important,
Mm,
especially if you are an accumulator, right? You can't just have stuff floating around all the time. And so this converting this spare bedroom into a little hobby space is a step in the right direction in terms of organization. Like I told you, I got rid of a bunch of old duplicate junk wax to make space. Got this cabinet here, so everything in there is now labeled. I
mhm.
I've had a spreadsheet for a while for some of the main kind of like PC or set building stuff. So make a spreadsheet, you know, like I think maybe Tori were talking about it, maybe Tori was saying like I have this one card and I saw it on eBay. It's like I can't buy this again and again and again. Like I can't keep throwing money after this. Like I don't want
Yeah.
to have, 4,000 Shane Pintos. So be organized,
Who would
make a
have that? Who
list.
would have that?
Yeah, make a list, and that'll help you kind of prevent waste and prevent, time spent on, chasing after cards that you might already have and stuff like that. And yeah, like you always are really good at preaching, this is hobby how you want a hobby for who you are. Focus on like what's in your control, right? Like you control how much you spend, how much you can budget per month for your cards and supplies and stuff like that. So you have to kind of listen to like who you are and kind of your own environment, and don't try not to get caught up in like the hype and the noise of what other people are doing. Like you can't always keep up with the Joneses, right? So you have to kind of find your lane, and nothing says you can't change lanes. Like you can, reevaluate your goals or whatever at the end of the year if you're a goal setting person. But I think, yeah, you just kind of have to follow your own voice in the hobby and find what you love, and you can kind of latch on to that. And I mean, sets come out every year, so it could be endless. Like you can change what you like, or maybe your budget changes and you can go up or down a little bit. You got to just stick to kind of what makes sense for you.
No, preaching. You're preaching the gospel there, because I think that you're dead on. Like, you've got to have the organization and do it your own way. You said it perfectly. I'm a big proponent of that. Thank you for the kudos on that. Like I said, I just think that's when I found a connected more to the hobby, and I don't need to do what everybody else is doing. I kind of was frantic when I first got back into it. I'm doing everything else, and it's so easy to fall into the allure of it. But
I see what you did there.
But no, it's easy to fall into that. It's not toxic, but anyway, it's enchanting, and but find your own way and you can be much happier. So awesome. Well, as thank you very much for sharing your passion and how you are as far as a collector. Like I said, you've been a good friend of mine. I'm grateful for the hobby, for being able to meet people like you and become friends, and either texting or every now and again, and seeing a card, I'm like, hey, just I do a good job of helping spend other people's money by sending cards every now and again, or just saying hey. And it's nice when I see like a like and a comment from your name pop up or something like that. So thanks for taking the time to share a little bit about yourself. So, but before we go, it's the guys do personal pickups. I do PC spotlights. So is there anything, since you're the guest, do you have anything other that you haven't shown or you want to readdress with some of your favorite cards from your PCs that you have?
I do. Thank you very much for asking, Neil. I appreciate it.
Oh, wow. Geez, look at that.
So one of so I have a little stack of Hosa cards here that I enjoy. One of them is the Pinnacle Artist Proof.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of I'm like Phil. I'm like terrible with numbers and deep information, but this I think was a short print variant from that year. It's really like that one.
Nice. It's got like a gold bullseye type design to it. Yeah,
exactly. Nice. Yeah. And then let's see. Let me take this out of a little bag here. So this is I think 98, 99 SPX out of 100. So I have two of these guys. Two Hosas from these guys. Two. Yep. And so again, like you said, kind of up until maybe last year, Hosa was a guy that was kind of under the radar. And so, coming out of COVID and the last couple of years, like I could really get a lot of his low number short print insert stuff for pretty cheap, like kind of disgustingly cheap. And now it's like, ooh, that ship has kind of sailed a little bit. But nonetheless, I digress. So I have I don't grade, never graded, never been in a break.
I should have never
sold a card. So I'm gonna do a lot of like weird stuff this year, new to me in the hobby, I guess. I do have a 10 PSA 10 the Don Russ rookie, Don Russ limited rookie. I love that one. And then again, Hosa under the radar doubloons.
Oh, nice.
This is 22, 20. Yeah, it's 23. Yeah. It's like in the weird plastic sheath in there, but I got this for a steal. Being a 10, it was like crazy cheap. I love a good deal.
I'm jealous of the doubloons. I haven't found one yet. Like I'm like where it's a player where I want to get it, because like a bunch of obviously Gretzky, Lindros, those are probably the only ones that'll get a doubloons, and a Gretzky. I'm like, all right, I'm not getting those. Like being a Gretzky collector, I've accepted the fact that I'm just going to have cards that I like, and they could be generic, they could be base, they could be whatever. But I haven't found a doubloons that I was like I want to get yet. But that and a liquid gold are on my list of cards. I'm like, I got to find somebody.
I haven't gotten a liquid gold, but I did earlier this year. I got the Barkov, the
Oh,
doubloons card, or
yeah.
no, sorry,
I have a bullion.
Bullion. This is a bullion. So
Bullion,
I have
yeah.
a bullion, and then the doubloon of Barkov. So I got these
Nice.
two probably last year, which I love. I love those. We love the
Yeah.
shiny gold things.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, so this is
Oh,
kind of harkening back to the conversation before. It's like, okay, Hosa rookie in the late '90s, and we don't really, it's not in Allure or O-Pee-Chee Platinum or anything. So it's like, well, and I love doing the rainbows. Like, well, how can I do a rainbow? Well, they've got the Pacific Dynagon
oh,
rookie, and then there is a rainbow that I was able to complete.
whoa.
Okay, but oh wait, there's more. 2 times. So I'm very fortunate to have the
2
double
rainbows.
rainbow.
What's the one in between the silver and the orange color there? Is that like a
It's
purple?
No, it's like dark. It's dark gray. I don't. They
Okay.
call it gray. I think. Yeah,
All
we have
right.
silver, gray, orange, red, and then teal, green,
Okay.
whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, those
Pacific was big in that teal. Yeah.
Pacific. I love Pacific for the sheer weirdness of it. They just had
Yeah.
so many different sets with so many different inserts. Like it sucks that they kind of faded out, but yeah, they pushed the envelope. I think in the late '90s and the early 2000s with respect to short print runs and stuff like that, and
Mm.
low numbered cards, and like I don't know. I mean, I really Upper Deck didn't really do a lot of like rainbow kind of stuff like that back then. So that's one of my kind of prouder achievements is the
Those are cool. I like them. I like them. I like the rainbows. I've only completed a couple. I just did that flagship that I just completed, but they're
Yep.
fun to do, and it gives you something to kind of bide your time with. And like you said, with Pacific, I wasn't collecting at all in that era, but I have a love-hate relationship with it because it is so quirky in some things, and I'm like, all right, you did a lot, but then you're like, okay, that's kind of cool that you did a lot on a card, but there's one that I got by accident, not by accident. I mean, I like the design of it, but is it the more not marsupial? That's a kangaroo.
Right.
What the hell? Oh gosh, I forget what the word is, but it's a mini card. And
Okay.
I didn't realize it was a mini card till the damn thing showed up. Either that or I got pranked, one of the two. But it's a Pacific card, I think. I'll have to look it up and text it to you. But I got this
Yeah.
mini card. I'm like, was this the first ones of those inserts that are in the back of those frozen in time cards? So,
Oh yeah.
but I forget what the heck it was. But yeah, I was
Oh
like,
yeah. I'm intrigued now, buddy. You got to
I'll
send me.
find it. I'll find
Yeah,
it.
you got to send me a picture of this
It's a
thing.
Lindros. I swear it's like a triangle of something. But I'll text it to you later.
And it was small.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'll text it to you. I can find it easier, but I'm pretty certain it's Pacific. So,
Okay.
but then it was funny when I got it, I was like, "Am I being punked? What's going on?" But then I was like, "All right, this is kind of cool. I mean, I may go find some more players that have these funky little cards." And I like finding quirky stuff that I didn't do when I was a kid. Like I've gotten a few Pog cards. Like I'll have to PC spotlight those sometime. Like I've some player Pogs, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of fun. So, all right, well, I don't have any of that crap that I just talked about, but I got a few cards. So I started talking about doing like I said, I always collect Gretzky, but I was like, what can I do? And I talked to where I'm going to start collecting his base cards of the cup. So base card that's not base. So I just got a few in stock. This is
Nice.
out of 249 again. It's the monster thickness of that's 1920. So again, I've always said it in my posts when I share pictures of my base cup cards. It's like the movie Days of Thunder with Harry Hogue. He says that line about there's nothing stock about a stock car.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
nothing base about a cup
No.
base card. So I got that one. That's 1920, and then I got another one came in, and these were all under $25.
Yeah.
17, 18. So and it's hard to find these that are like under 50, which is okay. People, and it's cool. They're out of 249, and my goal is to get every one of his base cards from the cup.
Okay.
I know his first year is going to be pricey, but first one. So, and then in the Gretzky vein, Josh was talking about these in his, and I bought one of these. I got the Lindros ones, and I found out that this, who is it? Fleer Ultra Extra.
Okay.
This is Fleer Ultra Extra up here, but
Yeah.
Ultra View hot packs. So they have Ultra View without the hot packs and then with the hot packs, and you can see it is a very early on acetate.
Translucent.
Yeah, it's a very early on acetate card that you can see pretty much through. So I remember when I first ordered a Lindros version. I got it off of Viapeel. That's sometimes what I'll do is I'll buy a card off of a cool picture, but they had it just on a white background. I had no idea this was clear until I got the card, and then I was like, "Holy crap! This is a card from the '90s." And gosh, hang on a second, card from the '90s with a clear cut. It's from '96, and it's got this PECG or whatever technology.
PETG.
That's it. Yeah, it's got that technology in it. So that just came in recently. I had the Lindros, and now I've got a Gretzky version of that. And then I posted this on my IG not too long ago. This is cool from the cup. Lindros, the signature retirement rendition. So that text is kind of cool.
Okay,
it's in the rainbow foiling, but I love this blue ink. I call it like electric blue in these autos. It's a cup, and I was at his retirement ceremony from the Jersey night. They retired his jersey, so I shared that on my Instagram, and a card I was kind of going after to kind of complete the cycle of his retirement night and haven't been at that game. So really cool. I was happy with that. That's probably my some recent pickups, but this one I've had for a little bit, the Ultra View. So
cool.
So yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, but well, you know what I should do? I should do like Josh. I should do like Josh does to Phil. Hey Rob, did you have fun?
Did I have fun? I did. Yeah, I had a good time. I had a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for coming out and helping out and joining me for an episode.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
thanks for having me.
Yo, you're very welcome, dude. And I look forward to seeing you again, hopefully at the next bow that we're both at. So I know it's not always easier for you, but just know you're never far from thought and mind when I think of my hobby friends, and I will have to get back to going bargain bin Bobby and going. We'll have to go dollar box digging next time we both make it to the expo. So
that's the only place that you'll find me.
Yeah,
elbows deep in the dollar box, buddy.
Let me ask you this real quick.
Yeah.
Do you mind the vendors that are just here's a white box, or do you prefer? Let me put it this way: which ones do you like? You just stop at any dollar bin, no matter what they are, or somebody with some sort of organization?
They got to have some sort of organization, even if it's just broken down into like price range.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, preferably if they at least have it by team, or some boxes they'll be like, oh, this box is all young guns and it's done by year. Like that's good too. But yeah, if there's no organization, like
keep going, right?
Yeah, I'm only here for like 3 days. We gotta be efficient with this process.
Ain't that the truth, man? I'll tell you what. I just wish they would break. I mean, and it's funny because you think about that, like how many different collectors collect different ways. I'm like, oh, just sort it by teams. And some people who the way they collect, they're like, well, I want to complete specific sets from certain years, and it's like, oh yeah, I guess so. So there's no right or wrong way, but just have some sort of organization,
Yeah. You gotta, you have to kind of choose your time, or choose how you spend your time kind of wisely there. You have to really, make those decisions on the fly when you get there. It's like, am I going to dig through this team box, or am I going to dig through this 1920 whatever box? It's like,
yeah.
It's awesome. A beast.
I know. Well, and to get that, your back starts to hurt, just hunched over, looking through cards. Your back's like, screaming.
Dude, I the whole time I was there, I had Excedrin and ibuprofen with me. I was like, this just stays in my backpack the whole time I'm there.
Yep, there's another expo tip. Just keep a little travel thing of ibuprofen in your backpack.
If you are over 40, you need to bring ibuprofen or Advil or whatever with you every day.
New shoes and Advil. Awesome. Well, thanks again, Rob. Appreciate you joining. So Thanks to everyone watching or listening. Remember, you can catch new episodes here on Discord. Just look for the Clover emoji behind the bench channel. New episodes will drop on Tuesdays. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Irish Flyers Collector. You can also follow Rob at beard_bows. You have to wait before I get into the final sign off. There, I know what it's from, but you share what that's from.
You got to say it. You got to say it. It's like Rick Ross, the boss.
The boss.
The boss.
The boss.
All right. Boss.
It's kind of like we always talked about that Impractical Jokers episode when Murr, they made him say it that way, boss.
Like a boss. Yeah, that is very funny. Yes.
That's when you should read so. But anyway, thanks again. Thank you very much for tuning in and taking time out of your day to watch. For all the listeners and viewers, I genuinely appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed it. Everyone, keep chasing those cards. Until next time, I'm Neil, Irish Flyers Collector. He's Rob, Beard Bouse, and you've been Behind the Bench.